you guys smash the like button and definitely give your comments down below. But we'll go to screen share because, you know, with Inoue doing what he's done, you know, he's went ahead and he's become two-time undisputed champion in damn near a calendar year. He sold out the Tokyo Dome. I mean, really and truthfully, once you get to the point in Japan where you're selling out the Tokyo Dome and you're putting on great memorable events and fights in the Tokyo Dome, you pretty much, like, if you want to not even fight in Japan anymore, you can fight wherever the hell you want. You graduated to the highest level because it doesn't really get higher as far as venues are concerned than fighting in the Tokyo Dome. So now we're going to screen share now. Shout out to everybody. Now with him beating Neri and doing a lot of things, you know, there's all the reports that Inoue's next fight could possibly be in the UK, which would be very intriguing because he's fought in the UK before, but he fought in Scotland. He fought on one of those World Boxing Super Series cards. I think it was Josh Taylor. I'm going to say it was Josh Taylor versus Prograde or Josh Taylor versus Baranchik. It was one of those fights. He was on the undercard. He fought, I think it was Emmanuel Rodriguez. So he hasn't gone to the UK since. And we all know the UK is one of the biggest, strongest markets for boxing in the world. So as you guys can see on the screen, it was reported by Michael Benson and Mike Coppinger in a recent ESPN article that Naoya Inoue could possibly be fighting in Wembley Stadium in London. And it'll actually be he'll be on the undercard because it'll be on Anthony Joshua's next card that they're planning for September 20th or 21st as part of the Riyadh season card. And so now, look, it's crazy what's happening in boxing now because now you got Turki Al-Rashid kind of already spreading his wings to America. They got the August 3rd card here with Terrence Crawford, and now they're going to go to the UK with Anthony Joshua on September 20th. So we'll see how it goes. But I'll say this. All respect to Anthony Joshua, I understand that it's his country that they're going to be fighting in. But I really don't think Naoya Inoue should be on like he's gotten to a stage in his career where I don't even think he should be fighting on anybody's undercard. Anthony Joshua should be on his undercard. Yeah. Inoue should be the headlining fight because he's never fought in the UK. He's never fought like in England. He's fought in like the UK, but not, you know, not England, not London, not Wembley Stadium. So I feel like when you got a fighter this caliber, if you're gonna bring in a Wembley Stadium, then it's of great importance that you do this right, that you do it properly, and you treat a guy who's at the top of the pound for pound list as arguably the best fighter in the world as such. You know, Anthony Joshua, he's supposed to fight the winner of Philip Hrgovic versus Daniel Dubois. Now, as many of you guys know, I'm banging the drum. I'm the president of the Philip Hrgovic fan club here in the USA. But even if Philip Hrgovic were to beat Daniel Dubois and get to fight Anthony Joshua, I still think Anthony Joshua should be on the undercard of Naoya Inoue, just because, like I said, of what he's doing in the sport right now, the fact that he's never been fought in London. You got to make sure you treat a guy like that with class, with respect, and with recognition of what his talent level says he is. So that's just what it is. That's how I feel about it. What do you guys think? You know, what do you guys think? And as far as maybe, I know Sam Goodman's his next potential opponent. I think that's a good fight. You know, Sam Goodman isn't necessarily a fighter that does anything particularly great, but he does a lot of things well, and he's rangy for the weight class. So it could be a good fight, but I really think it would even be better if they had a British fighter. So I'm trying to see who is a potential like British fighter he could fight, you know, in England if they're gonna go ahead and do something of that magnitude. We got my let me see. Let's go to the 122 rankings. I want surely there's got to be at least one Brit, one guy in the rankings somewhere that he could fight. So I'm thinking, man, the Brits really don't have any. There's like no British fighters. I mean, you could always do the Liam Davies fight, but Liam Davies, you know, he's not ranked highly enough. He hasn't. I don't think enough people are demanding that fight yet. But you know, Liam Davies is there at 12. Liam Davies is there at 6. I think Liam Davies would have to be ranked a little higher to get that fight. He's 5 in the WBC. So other than Liam Davies, it looks like maybe Sam Goodman is probably there is no other Brits. There's no other Brits that could possibly challenge anyway. But yeah, anyway you cut it up, slice it, and dice it, I just think, like, to the core of my bones, really and truthfully, Anthony Joshua needs to play second fiddle to Naoya Inoue, not the other way around. Naoya Inoue should not be playing second fiddle to Anthony Joshua, right? The only two fighters in the world, maybe 3 fighters in the world, if they were ever on a card that he could maybe play second fiddle to, or like, maybe like a Terrence Crawford, or like maybe Gervonta Davis, and maybe Canelo. I mean, I don't know. Even those guys, like even a lot of those guys, like unless it's Terrence Crawford, Inoue has to be the main event. He has to, because he has exhibited superior skills above pretty much anybody in the sport except Terrence Crawford, and maybe like a Bivol better be a winner, or maybe like a Usyk. He just deserves that respect. So if he's gonna come to the UK, just do it properly. I don't give a damn who unless Anthony Joshua is fighting Tyson Fury. There's no reason why Naoya Inoue should ever be on that man's undercard. I'm gonna leave it at that. Y'all can chime in and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But that's kind of how I'm feeling when I hear the news about him coming to the UK, and the fact that he would fight on the undercard of Anthony Joshua. No, that's not gonna fly over here on True School Sports. So that's just where I'm coming from. But shout out to everybody here. Make sure you smash the like button. Let's take some time to acknowledge the comments. We got my man Enrique Luna in the building. Shout out to him. He says, boxing, good fights are coming up. Panthers, yes, they did, man. They did their thing. They finally showed up. And I definitely think we're the better team than the Boston Bruins, and we're going to show it as the series progresses. So shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to Matthew Tkachuk, man. Matthew Tkachuk was throwing them ball. He was throwing some serious heat. There were a lot of fights. Matthew Tkachuk beat the brakes off of David Pastrnak. I actually made a YouTube short about it, so go check that out if you haven't already. But yes, shout out to the Panthers. Jason Rick says Liam Davies is a potential good UK fighter the Monster could face. He is, and the thing about it is Liam Davies has ran his mouth a lot. I think Liam Davies would do a good job helping to sell that fight. We know that Inoue doesn't really talk. I mean, he's Japanese, so these guys, generally speaking, they definitely go ahead and they're more polite, they're more reserved. But just because they're more reserved, it's not to be mistaken with them being soft, right? So I find Liam Davies just like Neri, just like Stephen Fulton, just like Emmanuel Rodriguez, he will have a certain quality of his a personality where you're going to bring out maybe the meaner side of Inoue, and that would always be for good promotion. So I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset at all if they made a Liam Davies fight. So yeah, man. Shout out to Jason for the comment. Caleb says Inoue is best in the world, but in the UK, AJ's the main event for all the money. I hear you, man. I definitely hear you, but nah, I'm sorry. He's never fought in England. So my thing is, if he's gonna fight in England, he can't. For me personally, I don't think he could be. I don't think he should be on anybody's co-main event, because he's just, like I said, Anthony Joshua. He's headlined at Wembley plenty of times. I don't think Inoue should have to warm up the main event for AJ. AJ should have to warm up the main event for Inoue. And look, if this has to be a situation where you got to put Inoue with a British fighter like Liam Davies just to make sure that the crowd stays there more, then I'm all for it. I'm 1000% for it, because like I said, he should be getting nothing but the best #1 treatment from anywhere he fights, just because he's been that caliber of fighter. And I'd be saying the same thing if Terrence Crawford was in a position, because Terrence Crawford has done the same thing. But shout out to my boy Jesus Sam. Good to see you. He says, Spot Little says, agreed. Shout out to you, champ. He said, hockey. It says, with you, BT from Malaysia. Keep it up. Shout out to the fine folks in Malaysia. God love Malaysia. And my man Tomo Atomi says, yo, I'm tuning in from Japan, brother. New info for you. Inoue is going to defend the Undisputed one more time against Sam Gilman, and then he will vacate the belts and fight at featherweight by the end of the year. Okay. Well, look, that's music to my ears, because like I've said many times before, 2024 is the year of the featherweight division. I feel like the featherweight division is the most exciting division in boxing. It's the deepest division in boxing. And Louis Neri, after the fight, I'll touch more on that later on, but Louis Neri, he touched on the fact that he's going to be moving up to the featherweight division. So that's already another good addition to the weight class. Inoue moving up would be the biggest addition to the weight class. So the division's getting even crazier. It's getting even crazier. As far as him and Sam Goodman, good fight. I think Sam Goodman deserves the fight probably more than any contender, because, he beat Rais Salim. He's been staying active. He's done things the right way. As to where a guy like Merjan Akhmadaliev, Merjan hasn't beat anybody since he lost to Marlon Tapales and got absolutely exposed. he ain't beat nobody but Kevin Gonzalez. And I feel like he should have to do more to get a shot at Inoue. But that's just me. They want to know, how do I see Sam Goodman? Sam Goodman is a good fighter. Like I said, Sam Goodman does a lot of things very well. He's a very well-rounded fighter. I just don't think Sam Goodman is going to have I don't think he does anything great enough to like beat Inoue. The only thing I can say stylistically that could give Inoue maybe a little bit of problems is the fact that he knows how to fight tall, and he's good at that. But other than that, like nothing really else. So yeah. All right, last couple of comments, and then I'm gonna really sink my teeth into something I want to talk about on this live. So shout out to everybody here. Caleb says Inoue is everything that's right about the sport. Moves up to his 4th weight class and immediately cleans out the top 5 and only the top 5. No, you love to see it, and you know, he does have the benefit of like having like a lot of money behind him, so that obviously helps. But he also still has to have the attitude and not be entitled and still take those fights and perform at a high level, which he's done. So full credit to him. I got a lot of love for the monster. And then the last comment I'll address here before I go into my next point is Jason says Junto Nakatani needs to be talked about more in the pound for pound conversations. I ain't mad at you for that. I think, what is he now? A 2 division champion? Is he 2 or 3? I can't remember if he's 2 or 3 division champion. But I truthfully feel like Junto needs to beat some better fighters, and he's not going to really have the opportunity to beat better fighters until he moves up weight class, because 118 really is a weak division. So I don't think he's far off. I think Junto is like, you're talking about a guy that maybe he's not top 10, but if you make a top 15, he's definitely in the top 15. So he's more than well on his way. Amazing fighter in the sport. So yeah. But shout out to everybody here. It's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. This is the aftermath of Inoue getting off the canvas to whoop Louis Neri. You know, we're talking about everything, right? So